Hi everyone and welcome. This is Marcie Besecker and I am independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up. Thank you for joining me. I am not live today because I am away at a wedding, but I wanted to bring you this super fun card. It's going to be the Butterfly Brilliance pop-up fancy fold. So hello. Wow. Next week my hair is going to look so different. I hope it's not scary, but we'll see how that goes because I am doing something different. So you'll have to watch on Tuesday and see what I did. Okay, so enough of that. So I'm at a wedding this weekend, so I didn't go live today, which is Sunday is when I'll schedule this video. But I wanted to create a fun video for you while I'm gone. So I am doing a fancy fold. I had this scheduled already to post for Sunday. This was my plan. And now the butterfly bijou paper is sold out. But this project will have that paper. But keep in mind, you can always go use a different paper from a different set. There's a lot of suites out there with some fun paper that you can use this fancy fold with, different suites, different stamp sets. I'm just going to stick with the one I've already created and recreate it for you and show you how I created it. I will be working on my blog post and hopefully I'll have that done before I leave, and that will also post on Sunday. If not, it will post on Tuesday with Tuesday's video, or next week with Tuesday's video. We'll see. I'll get them done as soon as I can. So let's just get busy and get started. We have a lot to show you, and I'm going to show you the way I came up with the measurements and that kind of thing. I was lucky enough that I did not follow any directions on this. I just saw cards made like this and tried to figure it out myself, and it worked the first time, which gives me the fear that it may not work this time live on camera. But we're going to give it a try. It's really simple. You just have to kind of think about what your end result, what you want. And so this is what we're going to create. Okay, so it just worked out that my measurements worked and everything. And I was like, okay, can I recreate this? We shall see. All right, so I used Bermuda Bay. So we're going to bring that in, and that is going to be our card base. So we're just going to fold this in half. I did cut it long ways, so this is going to be 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. Okay, so that's what we have here. Then I took our saffron, and think about this for the inside of your card, that you want it to be 1/4 inch off on both sides when you do it lengthwise. So 1/4 inch on this side, 1/4 inch on this side. So you're going to take 1/2 inch off. So now if you look at this, it's 10 1/2 inches, okay, instead of 11. I took off 1/2 inch, so it's going to be 1/4 on each side because we're talking about this panel right here. Okay, so 1/4 inch on both sides, and then don't forget you want the 1/4 inch this way. So this is now 4 inches. Okay, so I did 4 by 10 1/2 is what I did. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fold this in half. And this is how I did it. Now, I don't have any exact measurements. I'll figure them out as I put them on, before I put them on the blog. So now I'm going to pull in our scoreboard, and I'm just going to use my trimmer because I'm only scoring one item. If I had a bunch going on, I would try to go with a larger, my regular scoreboard. So I'm just going to show you, we're going to recreate this one. So let me take a ruler. I just kind of did it and winged it on my own the first time around, but because it worked, we're going to go ahead and measure this. If I can find my correct ruler, here we go. So what I want to do is measure how far up did I start my score. So we're going to go up 1 3/4 inch, okay? So if we go 1 3/4 inch, which is right there, I'm going to get the cutting blade out of the way. I moved it to the top. Let me just pull you out a little bit. I think you're a little close. Okay, so I am at 1 3/4. So I am going to put just a little tick mark right there so I can see where that is. Okay, then I went from here, okay, in the middle, I went over 2 1/4. So I'm going to write this down, 1 3/4 and then 2 1/4. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take that 1 3/4 right there to 2 1/4. So we're going to go over 2 1/4, make a little mark right there. Okay, just a little tiny hatch mark. And now that is where I'm going to score my line. And you're going to do it not super hard, but a couple times because you want it to kind of, you can feel it on the other side. You can see it over here, but you can feel it there. Now I'm going to open up this card base here. Let's move this out of the way for now. And now what I did is you can see the lines. All right, so you're going to fold on that line inward, okay, and then fold like that. So this now is what your card base is going to be, so it will pop up when you open it. All right, now before you adhere this onto your card base, you want to make sure it's folded exactly right. And mine's just a tad off, so I'm just going to make sure my corners match so that it's nice and straight. Now I need my white paper for the inside. So remember, I did some white here. I did it on both sides just in case you want to write. Now you could add a sentiment here or here and then go ahead and write on that side. This one says, hope your day is full of love, laughter, and joy, which I thought was so pretty and such a fun, light card to get. It's just cheer somebody up. You know how I'm on my roll about cheering people up and sending cards out. So there we go. Now I kept it folded. I took a piece of paper, all right, and I just put it right up to it like that. Okay, so what I did is I brought my guillotine trimmer in, which you could use whatever you have. All I did is slide this under, and I probably need to clean my guillotine because I had to stick some glue in here yesterday. All right, I laid it right in there, and I went down. And now this should align with this. Okay, so it's going to be a tad shorter just because this one's trimmed already, and but I wouldn't worry about that. We're going to trim it up even more. This just happened to be a piece I had on hand. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to trim it down 1/4 inch, but we need another one first for the other side. So I have another piece of paper here. I'm just going to take it in just like this. Take it right up to the edge of the guillotine, and it does not have to be exact, but it's going to come out pretty even. Have both of them on here. All right, now while they're both together, I am going to put this in, and this is just under 4 inches. So I'm going to go down to just under, you don't have to be exact. Like I said, this was a scratch piece, an extra piece somewhere that I had. So I am, and you know what, the best thing to do, sorry, turn it over this way. This way the top part can align up nice and solid all the way across. And now I'm going to go just under the next 1/4 inch. cut that off. And then I really need to clean my glue off of there. So if you only do that, you're going to see that it's going to fit perfectly, but now it's too long. You don't really want to cut your space off over here because this is fine. Let's cut off over here. So I'm just going to do both because it will do both. And what I'm going to do is I like to come backwards this way. And so I can just kind of see where it's at here because it's a lot longer, or you could do it on your regular trimmer. And that is a little too long for me, so let's do it this way. And I'm just going to cut off about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm guessing, but I'm okay because I'm just wanting it to fit in here. All right, so there we have our 2 pieces, and they're going to fit perfectly. So that's how I measured them. So there's no really, other than measuring this on what the measurement is. So at 1 3/4 up and 2 1/4 over, and then have your paper folded and score that, and then you're set. The next thing I'm going to do, so we're going to set this aside. This is going to go in here, so we'll leave that aside. Now we have our 2 pieces of paper, and they're going to go like this inside. I'm going to take my butterflies, which I have another one on order that I'm going to cut up. I've mentioned it before. These are going to be around in the next catalog, so I would prefer to have these cut up also, especially for what I'm going to do right now, is we are going to add the butterflies on the inside, but we've got to be really careful not to get the other butterflies to stamp, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, let's move that. I like to use my Stamparatus cover. I have that extra one right next to my Stamparatus, and I like to have these just to be ready for my stamping and for larger dies and background. It's just kind of an easier way to use this. I don't like to get this sticky on paper or anything like that so that it gets sturdier. And I don't really want to use the large block right now, but you could definitely do that. All right, so I want to make sure I have a baby wipe or something close by. I like a baby wipe in this instance because it gives me a little more flexibility to use it. So we're going to use mint macaron. And again, I'm using this side, not this side where this groove is. And I'm going to stamp this butterfly right here. And now you can see that it's getting the butterflies around it. That is why you want the baby wipe. So we're going to go in and clean this one off. And then clean these off. And you don't really want them wet. You want to make sure you have all the ink off of them. All right. And the only one you want inked right now is the green one. And I got a little on the edge, so I'm just going to go, because I'd rather be safe than sorry, and take that off so that only your butterfly is done. Now I'm going to take my So Saffron. Okay, same thing, turn it around, use this edge, and get this last little butterfly. Now, if you get a little yellow on the wingtip, it's not that big of a deal. All right, so get that one done. The important step, take your baby wipe and make sure you get this off, because it could definitely get on your card and you don't want to do that. All right, so this is kind of it's a great way to do this, but it's not the easiest because it's one stamp, and this is where I come in with the other. Okay, I want my butterflies to be on this edge and on this edge. Okay, now I'm getting crooked, sorry. So what I'm going to do is, this is the first edge, and I'm going to go right here and just go down, and you could lay something across. Like a piece of paper or whatever. We'll do it on the next one so you can see what I mean. and pull it up. And see how I got a little bit right there? But I'm not going to worry about it. We'll stick a rhinestone or something right there. Not a big deal. All right, so let's do this again. Or maybe we'll cut another one out. We'll see. Let's see how this one comes out. So same thing. Take your mint macaron. Get that one inked up. All right, we're going to clean up the sides. Everything that doesn't need the green, everything except that butterfly. Around the edge. This one. And now that I have my white done, I am going to grab another one really quick. We'll just take this and we are going to just cut another just in case. I kind of think I want to do it and not have that on there, but that's the issue with. Okay, we're going to just go right along the line right there, and I know I'm not going right across the edge, but it's just a tiny piece I'm getting off right there. All right, so now we're doing this edge on this side. So I have my green. Now let's take our saffron and just do this guy down here. All right, now we're going to take this side, and I don't think that paper is going to go across, so let me take an old piece here of paper that I have. We're going to lay this here and just go across like that. Okay, so there's one that came out. Let's try it again on the other side, see if I can get not to have that boo-boo. So clean it all off. All right, so back with the mint macaron for that guy. Our neighbors are having a tree cut down, and so they're grinding next door. Remember when we did our big tree? It was loud, and I can hear it next door. All right, so these are done. Let's hope this one comes out. I'm going to pull it back this way a little bit and bring in our card. So I have this way, now I need it this way, so I'm going to go right down like this. I'm going to put this over and just lightly go over. It's easier to go over it when you have a piece of paper because you don't have to go so firmly. And I still got yellow on this one, so that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just go with this one. That's fine. All right. Clean this up and move it aside. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and adhere these. And put these on our card. And I'll fix that side. We can add a little rhinestone there. We have rhinestones on the front. I can add a rhinestone right inside there, and I think I might find a sentiment to put in there before I send it. Just depends on what I want to do with it. So there's our butterflies on that side. Now these butterflies were cut from the bijou paper, but you could just go ahead and stamp your butterflies and use the butterflies from the stamp set versus like these were versus the paper. So I want to do the outside and get kind of equal to what the other side is, and then I just kind of make sure that it's aligned there so it looks good, and then when you close it, it's nice and lined up. So there we go there. Now what I do is we're going to do one side. Remember, you do not want adhesive right here. So let's just go down. I've seen so many fun pop-up cards, and I've done them, but it's been a long time. And I don't even remember if I had directions before or if I just did it kind of like I did here and just kind of winged it. But it just kind of works out. It is a fun, my paper's running away. It's just kind of a fun fold that's simple, but it's kind of a nice little surprise when you open it up. Okay, just make sure your lining is okay. So now I folded one side. I just want to make sure that when I open it, it's going to lay flat, okay? But then fold down okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, that's why I did one side first and made sure it's going to open. All right. And lay down flat. Because if you put it in kind of wonky, it's not going to open flatly. So now I'm just going to make sure that my corners and everything match up fine. I've got glue all over me. All right, so now there you go. Now when you open it, it does seem to like fold just a little weird if you're going to have it fold like this. And I didn't want to pull it out towards the end because then it's even worse after that. So it will fold down just fine. It just gives it like a weird little book type thing at the back. And that's how the other one was. I couldn't get that to do differently. All right, so let's go ahead and add our panels. This is where the DSP comes in. It's so pretty. I feel bad doing this with the paper. For those that didn't get it, I tried to say don't wait. Make sure you get it. But the bundle will still be around, and it's absolutely stunning. And we don't know. Maybe they're going to have a different paper in the catalog. I have no idea. Which would be really cool. Wouldn't it be cool if this came out in like a 12 by 12? I would love that. All right, so let's get this. I don't want to put this down yet until I get everything aligned on there. So let's go to the inside, and we're going to put our butterflies on. So what I like to do is just kind of make sure when the butterfly closes where it's going to pop up. So just kind of make sure it's going to close. So what I did is I went ahead and I put adhesive on the bottom wing part. Okay, and you're going to kind of see that it's just going to be, you really want to make sure you're only putting it on this side. Okay, and then how you close it and where the butterfly is going to go. So I think we're going to need a little bit right here too. All right, so we want it popped out like this. So I'm going to close it, and I'm just going to lightly put it there, just lightly. So you make sure it doesn't show, but it pops up nicely. So that's fine. I like that a lot. Okay, there's our butterfly. And now our other butterfly, I have like this. And you want to make sure that when it closes, so just kind of get an idea, you want to make sure that it's going to stay out of your way. So let's put a little adhesive over here and right up that a little bit. All right, so we're going to go like right here, lightly put it down, just kind of get an idea. Okay, that's where I wanted it, but it popped up. That's how light it was. Okay, I'm gonna rub a little bit off at the top. I think I went up a little too high. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, see how that sticks up? It needs to go down a little, and I want it turned a little too. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we're going to do it a little bit higher, a little turned. Okay. So we're going to go right about there. You want it to open and close, okay. And if they're open like that next to each other, that's even better, I think, because you can see them. But you want to make sure it's very well burnished on your paper, okay. See, and it will flick. There we go. Open, close, open, close. All right, so there's that. So we're going to set that aside. I hope you saw that in screen. It's when I'm not talking with you guys, I'm not looking at my screen as much. So I hope you saw that. All right, so now let's do the bottom part. So what I did, the top part, is we're going to have our butterfly. And you guys know I like to just kind of put a little crease in the middle. Take my bone folder and just kind of curl. Again, instead of the butterflies off the paper, you can create your own butterfly. And you can use alcohol markers or watercolors or whatever you want. Stamp that in black maybe. That'll be really pretty. All right, so for this I made a flag here on the banner. I am so excited about the new catalog coming out. We get to see it next week. They get to tease us for a couple days until we can order. All right, I think I did. I think what I'm going to do, because I want this behind here, so I am going to adhere right down the middle. I'm going to put this right here on the middle. It doesn't have to be exact. I just want it down, sticking out both sides so I can just get an idea of how I want to do the flag. So just the banners on the end here. And just kind of add a little color. I think I'm going to go a little shorter on this end because it's a little longer. All right. Now I'm going to add dimensionals there. I don't know what I did to my dimensionals. I've got like 5 different projects going and I've got buckets with everything's everywhere. I do have a fun project scheduled for Tuesday, which will be a lot of fun. All right, so let's get this put on. And we're going to put this right in the middle. Right about there, I think. Think about where your butterfly is going to go. All right, and now for the sentiment, I have my box here with my mini messages. This is MM on white, so mini messages on white and sentiments. I have a drawer full of these, so sometimes I have like birthday and different ones, and I think I still just like hope your day is full of love and laughter, laughter, and joy. And then you can always put happy birthday on the inside. And I'll do that later when I decide what I'm going to do. But for now, I think we're just going to leave it like this. And I have my small, as soon as I can find them, mini glue dots. And it looks like I'm going to have to open up another package because I think I used the rest of mine. I know I have one package in a project I'm working on, but all right. So let's take my, as soon as I can find it, my piercing tool. Wow. Well, luckily I have several. And we're just going to, and if you have the long strips, you can do that too. I used a bunch of mine up, so I actually need to open another package. Especially with this being on the front, on a fancy fold, I just kind of like to make sure I have enough adhesive on there. It's going to be doing some movement and everything. I just like to make sure that nothing's going anywhere. Alright, so we'll add this down here on the bottom. Right about there. Make sure that looks straight to you before you. There we go. Alright. Alright. Now what I did is I took the flax ribbon and I just took part of it and I cut it in half. So just cut it in half, so just get a few strands here. And I made it kind of as long as the pieces here in the middle. About. Doesn't have to be exact. And then just cut it. And then it will kind of fan out on its own. You can just put your fingernails right in between and it'll just kind of feather out. And same on this side. Okay, have it feather out. And then I did some adhesive in the middle. I just kind of laid it. And we can always trim it up here in a minute. So we'll have feathering on both ends. Just for some fun. Okay, we're going to trim this part. Don't need to be that long. Alright. And now we're going to take our butterfly and pop it up there in the middle. I just took two large dimensionals there. Pop that there. All right. See if I can clean this up just a bit. Get it out of the way. All right. So there we go. We're getting there. So let's put our adhesive on. See if I can try and do this without my head in the way. Just want to make sure it's all right. We need our rhinestones. We're just about done. Easier than it looks. All right. We're going to add some little rhinestones just here and there. Just up there. So there's our 3 rhinestones. And then we open it up and I am going to add a large rhinestone right there. And I'll probably stamp something there or maybe cut out a little something and put a happy birthday and then I can write over here. All right. So there's that. You can also, why not? Let's take the medium ones and put them up here. So this may end up being kind of a thick card. So you want to think about that for mailing. If it's going to be a mailed card or an in-person card, because you have your card base, then you have 2 layers here, and then you also have the fold, and then you also have the 2 layers here, but I honestly think it's still thin enough for a regular postage. I really don't think it's that thick. And you could just glue this butterfly down instead of putting adhesive on it. So by putting the dimensionals, I mean, you know, made it a little bit thicker again, but you could take those off and just do adhesive and then it would not be as thick. So there you go. That is the fun fold. And like I mentioned, I would suggest getting an extra butterfly. I want to say it was $17. I believe 19, something like that. And it really wasn't that bad. And you're not buying the bundle again. You've already got the bundle, right? So if you already have the bundle, getting this set to cut it out would just be a smart idea. And you would just cut it. They give you plenty of rubber around the outside. And so just be really careful not to go too close to the image. Just kind of look at the other edges and then just kind of keep that spacing. It looks like they give you that spacing enough between each one to where you could cut it and use these as individual stamps. So I'm excited to get my second one. I thought I ordered it before, but I must have taken it off my list and decided to put it, probably I was closing a month and decided to put it on another order or something. And then I didn't do it, and so now I did do that yesterday for sure. It's on its way. And so there you go, super simple. You can tell when I told you guys how much I love my paper that this is my paper. Well, this one's a newer one, but this is like all pieces that I've kept that I could use for something. This one had all my butterflies that I cut out. I've showed you guys that on other videos, and they're almost all gone. And a little bit of paper still left in each of these. But I even have this paper still in one other, and I wish I had more because I really love this set. But oh, we forgot our Wink of Stella. Let's not forget that. So I'm just doing the body because that's where I noticed it on there and why I wanted it. And then I just kind of went out along the edges right here. Just kind of feathered it a little bit. And then I just did the same in here. And we'll just do a little Wink of Stella. And you could do Wink of Stella on the ones that you stamped also if you want, but I'm doing the main ones, and then that's it. And then this one has these little green spots. I'm going to do the green spots and the outside. And now I have all this pretty Wink of Stella on there to make it shimmer. And so you can see it really shimmer on here with just on the body. But it is also where all the darker yellow is. It's also there. So there you go. So this would be really cute with any stamp set, I think. And it's just a fun surprise when you open the card and you get this fun pop-up element. Okay, that's where my boo-boo was. Fix it. I could do a little label, like I said, like, and just put like a happy birthday right there and right here, which is fine. And I didn't even have to put the rhinestone. Okay. And then this one, I even added just a little die cut. And I just popped that up on top of this one and added a little rhinestone there. So, I mean, there's so many different things you can do with it. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was really fun creating this, and it was something that I really wanted to share with you. I just finished 50 cards for a retirement facility here in town, and that was kind of a surprise that I started last night and finished today. So that's why I got a little behind, and I was like, ooh, I want to get that video done. So I'm glad I got it done for you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave your comment below by what I asked for you to respond to, and you'll go on a raffle for Tuesday. All right, everybody, I hope you guys have a very wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Bye.